Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video I am going to be sharing part 2 of my struggle as it relates to our journey to have a child. And we're not wasting no time, we might as well get right into this video.
Let's get into this video, baby.
Yeah. Nah. Ta-na-na. The Bandits on the rise. The Bandits stay up on your TV. Turn up the volume and put it in a 3D. Yeah, yeah. Gather round, can you see me? Come make we have a good time and be free. Sing it again. The Bandits stay up on your TV. Turn up the volume and put it in a 3D. Gather round, can you see me? Come make we have a good time and be free. Me talk about everything where you gone, from personal life to politician. Full enjoyment, that how we plan. We have to talk about food as a Jamaican, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. The Bandits on the rise. The Bandits stay up on your TV. Turn up the volume and put it in a 3D. Gather round, can you see me? Come make we have a good time and be free.
Hey family Wagwan, what is up you guys? Welcome back to another video with the Bandits. And this video will be basically a follow-up video from the video that I did having baby fever. That was the topic of it.
Yeah, having baby fever and you're ready for a child.
Yes, so this is a follow-up video, part 2, and in this video my wife will be mostly explaining her part. And before we get into this video, guys, just like this video and just go ahead and subscribe to the Bandits channel if you haven't as yet. And you can take the floor, my wife.
All right, so, and you said this is part 2 or a follow-up to your video, but it's actually it's a follow-up to yours, yes. But it's also part 2 to a video that I did, I think it was about 2 years ago.
Yes.
And it was basically like my struggle in the age gap relationship. And it was kind of emotional video because I was talking about, my desire to give you a kid, and so basically I was just kind of sharing like a little bit of that journey. And I think it was in 2022, so I'll go back and look that up and link the info card at the top for those of you who maybe need to get caught up like on this part of, our journey. Yes. And go back and watch that video. But yeah, so today I am just going to be sharing a little bit more of, my journey. And I'm going to preface the video with just a few thoughts before I get started, because I don't want people to like miss the mark. Like I see a lot of people, getting sidetracked, like just in the comments getting sidetracked. And I don't really want people to like miss the purpose of us doing these videos because, yes. We're not like, if you've been following us for a while, like, that we're transparent. We don't really have anything to hide. And, we share our life. And so that's the purpose of our channel, is for us to share like our life and our love in our relationship. And we are in an age gap relationship. You have a lot of couples that just kind of share their life, but we are in an age gap relationship. And so we share things, basically, just our everyday life. But, with that, we do experience things that other people experience as well. And that's the reason that we're even like opening up and really kind of like sharing this part of our journey. You know, yes. What I mean? Because, we see like the comments where people are saying, that they understand. Even when I did that video two years ago, a lot of people said, that they were praying for us and they understood how I felt. You got a lot of, women and men saying like, they don't have any kids, and
because it's something relatable, Katanya. It's just something that
whether you're in an age gap or not, you still have a lot of
that a lot of people is going through.
Yeah. And so that's the reason that we're even sharing. It's really just kind of like a silent community of support to say, yes. Like, we're experiencing this same thing in our relationship, and we're just really sharing, opening up and sharing our story, So
just to touch somebody so they can be strong as well, because we going through it as well, but we here just the same, you know.
yeah, here just the same,
Just
and
working through it, working on it.
yeah, and so I don't really want people to like miss the mark or like the purpose for the videos, you know.
Yes, and sometimes people going through these things, they intend to just focus on this thing and not enjoying themselves with each other.
Right.
They just focus on. So guys, not because we here and we just discussing and we saying this is what we feel like we need in our life, or this is our next move, or this is our next
Right.
step. Not saying we're not here still loving on each other and
Right.
enjoying each other company. We're not just sidetrack and just focusing on that so till we are not enjoying each other.
Yeah, we're not really sitting around like every day talking about this topic or really any other topic videos that, you know, we do. Sometimes we do like sit down topic videos, and it's really just for conversation, you know.
Yeah, baby.
So we're not
Yes.
sitting around like just talking about these things. Like we don't sit around and talk about our age gap every day. We're just living our life and we're just sharing that with you guys. So
But you know, it do happen though, like what I just explained.
yeah, like some people get so caught up in this that they're not enjoying life.
Yeah, that they're not even enjoying themselves together
Yeah.
or enjoying each other.
Right.
They just get caught up about a child or maybe people in their feelings.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's real, and so we just want to be transparent and share that, you know, we're going through it too, and we do understand. So I just wanted to kind of preface the video with that, and also, you know, because we are on this public platform, you know, we will share like what we want to share, and what we don't want to share, we just simply won't share it. You know.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like what we want to share, we will share, and what we don't want to share, we won't share. And we're not really sharing these videos for people to like ascertain or determine whether or not I can have children. You know what I mean? Like we're just sharing because we're opening up about this part of our relationship,
Our journey and where we're at in life.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, I mean, you're a private person too.
Yes.
But, you know, I could really just shut YouTube down and go back to living my life. But we are on assignment, and so we want to just, I guess, be obedient to our calling, like our purpose in even having this YouTube channel. So that's the reason why we're sharing.
Yes, and we do like it too. We do enjoy it, you know.
So I've shared, you know, we've shared that, you know, I've had some miscarriages. And so I kind of want to like go back to not really like the beginning, but like pre-COVID, because I think like COVID really changed things for me.
Yes.
Yeah, so I kind of want to pick up like just kind of start right there, and you know, just keep in mind that, you know, I'm just trying to like formulate my thoughts, you know.
Yes, no problem. They understand, baby.
Yeah, that this is not something that like we're just discussing, you know what I mean? Like we've tried to have children, and we've shared that I've had miscarriages, and you guys hear me talk a lot about COVID, and I've shared that, you know, I have I think it's called like adenomyosis. Some people say adenomyosis, some people say adenomyosis, and basically it's what Gabrielle Union said that she has, and so that's why she couldn't carry a child. And so you guys hear me talk a lot about COVID as it relates to like my job and how we went fully remote, and you know, how that was a change for me, like, you know, not going into the office, everything was shut down. Like it was just a different time for the whole world. But a big part of it for me was also that I went into like a state of depression, so to speak, because we had some miscarriages, and I was kind of researching you know, some options. I was researching options because my issue is not getting pregnant. So we don't have like infertility issues. My issue was not getting pregnant, it was staying pregnant.
Yes.
And so I was just kind of doing like research, and I had found a clinic in another country. It was in another country, and I'm not going to say, which country and all of that, but I had found a clinic that had like a high success rate of IVF, as well as, helping women who have had like miscarriages. Yeah. So they had like procedures and things, in place to help you
to help
you
carry the baby,
be able to carry it.
Yes, to hold the baby that you carried for the full term. And
yes, and they had a high success rate, and so before COVID, I had researched, I found this clinic, and I had reached out to them, and I had did my consultation with the doctor and all of that. And they had just sent me my medications. Remember, we went to Colombia. Mm-hmm. We went out of the country. We went to Colombia that weekend before everything shut down. Yes. So they had sent me my list of medications, and I was going to get started. And we were supposed to go for our first treatment in November. Mm-hmm. I guess this would have been 2020. Yeah, because I started talking to them at the end of 2019.
Yes.
And so going into 2020, and then you start hearing about COVID, and this is right around March, they sent me my list of medications. I was supposed to, pick that up from the pharmacy as soon as we came back. And if you remember, we came back, and the very next day, everything shut down.
Yeah, when we come back from that trip.
Yeah, everything shut down.
We was lucky to make it back in the country.
Yeah. So everything shut down, like the pharmacies, all travel was stopped and everything. So basically that kind of put a halt to those plans because, at that point the clinic is like, we don't know, when things are going to open back up. Yes. And so I was really like devastated, Mm-hmm. I was devastated because I was hopeful, that, and part of it too was that, we were going to try to capture some of my eggs as well, and so anyway, I was
gonna happen.
I was devastated. Kimara is trying to keep me together so I don't get emotional, but, excuse me, I was devastated because like I was hopeful, and then here everything shut down, and I went into like just a depression. And it's easy to say, at the end of it, like when the borders started opening back up and all of that, well, you could just pick back up and, pick the process back up. But by then I'm in like a state of depression. Like my mindset is not even there. And the reason why we chose this clinic out of the country is because, number one, they had high success rates, yes. Even though it was no guarantee, and they made that clear, like there's no guarantee. They did have high success rates, and it was a fraction of the cost of what it would be in the U.S. So, like anything like IVF or surrogacy or anything like that in the U.S. is exorbitant. Like it's extremely expensive. Like even when I was researching, because like I said, we wanted to try to capture some of my eggs just in case we had to use like a surrogate in the future. And even back then, we talking before COVID, a surrogate was like $25,000. Mm-hmm. And expensive, and you have to pay for their medical or health care costs as well. So so it was a fraction of the cost, and they had high success rates, and so I was hopeful. And so then now everything is shut down, and now I'm in like this deep depression. But at the same time, it's like my mind is also telling me, because I always say like things happen the way they're supposed to, things happen for a reason. So now my mind is also telling me like, not saying COVID happened for me, but I'm just saying that things happen for a reason. And it was a reason that we were not able to go that route, because we could have spent that money and still miscarried,
But at first, babe, when I was hearing of these things, them kind of new to me.
They was foreign to you.
Yeah, remember they was foreign. They was foreign to me. Me hearing these things, but then again, I have to kind of come to an agreement, because remember, we are one. And if it was on my side, we still have to come to an agreement. But they just didn't kind of sit well. As I said, they was foreign to me as a young Jamaican man. You know what I mean, baby?
Yeah.
But as I say, as you married, we're sharing life. We're sharing for each other. So,
and even you know, your mom reasoned with you a little bit as well, because I'm like, we're not doing anything like unnatural. Like, you have young women who are barren and can't even have children.
yes.
You know, you have older men for whatever reason that don't have children. You have women who are even my age to say they don't have children, they want children, and there's options out there, you know.
Yes.
So it's not like we were doing something unnatural. But that's the second thing that I wanted to get into.
It was just kind of just like,
foreign. It was
yeah,
foreign
at
to
first.
you.
Then as I said, we come to an agreement. Then I was like,
Yeah, and I think part of it too is maybe just like a little, I don't even want to say like bitterness, but because Kemar was so resistant to it at first, and so time passed.
time for real.
Yeah.
We was for real because as I said, babe, it was just so foreign and it was just so new. As me I tell you, as a young Jamaican man, I will come from Jamaica, Catania, and natural we used to the thing happen, you know?
When I even first approached Kemar was like, what? Like,
Yes, because we know that people go to them bed and you wake up then maybe a few weeks. How much you take a week to start vomit and then you know that. Yeah, Catania, we know the thing happen natural. So when you hear this thing I present in
I don't know
front
what
of
you
me,
thought I was saying at first.
yes.
But it took like some explaining and some reasoning and, you know, rationalizing, and also, you know, your mom speaking to you as well. Like, it's nothing.
Yeah,
unnatural.
it take a time for a process it.
So I feel like
And time did pass. For
yeah.
real.
So I feel like in that we lost time as well, you know.
Yeah.
And so now here we are pushed against this thing happening across the globe with COVID, and that shut everything down. But also, you know, I look back and I'm like, you know, was it anything like differently I could have done, like even before then? Because even, you know, before then, you know, I was drinking teas. I was, you know, trying to do like all of these health things as well to make sure. And you got to keep in mind too, like, when I first met Kemar, like I was well within childbearing years. So we didn't even know that this would be an issue that we would be faced with, you know? So, but, you know, as I'm getting older, and even, you know, getting older, you know, there are risks, you know, but at the same time, you do have a lot of women who are having children older because they're going for their careers and all of that stuff first. And so it's more natural for women to have children older. But, you know, I just kind of like wondered, was there anything else that, you know, I could have done as well? But we still lost time as well because you weren't on board with it at first. And when I think about like, if it was anything different that I could have done, like when I first found out about the adenomyosis, and it's really just like a thickening of your lining around your uterus. It's like endometriosis. It's the opposite. Endometriosis is on the inside, adenomyosis is on the outside. And when I first found out that I had it, I was in my early 30s. And when I went to the doctor, I actually thought that I was going through menopause because my mom went through menopause in her 30s. So by the time she was in her late 30s, she had already gone through full menopause. So that's what I thought it was.
In her late, how much?
Yes, in her 30s, which is rare. Not many women, you know, experience that, but she did. So that's what I thought I was experiencing.
Okay.
So when I went to the doctor, and he was adamant, like, you are not going through menopause. And I was like, yes, I'm telling you, like, I was having like irregular periods. I still had like cramping. I mean, I always had like horrible cramps from even when I was like a teenager. When I first started having periods, I had like horrible cramps. I was having like irregular periods. I was having like heavy periods. I was having periods for like 10 days at a time. So it was just a lot of stuff going on. But I thought like it was menopause because my mom went through menopause in her 30s. And when he came back and said, this is what you have, I didn't think anything about it. I was just like, oh, okay. Because I didn't know it could stop you from having children. And really, like, to be honest, I probably didn't care at the time because I didn't think that I would be having any more children. So I didn't really like look into it and research it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and the doctor kept telling me like the only cure for it is a hysterectomy. And I was like, no, I'm not getting a hysterectomy because, like, to me, that's taking away like my womanhood, to take my uterus out and my ovaries and like basically my reproductive system. Even though I didn't really plan to have any more children, that was still like a part of my womanhood.
Yeah, man.
So I was just like, no, I'm not getting a hysterectomy. Like, that's not an option. So I just dealt with it and I managed it, And he gave me birth control to kind of regulate the periods and kind of help with the cramps. And that was how, like, we managed it for basically that was going to be the plan until I actually go into menopause, And so, I didn't really know what it was. So I didn't look into it. I didn't research it. And it really, to be honest, it really wasn't until after I found out that that's what Gabrielle Union had that I said, well, dang, wait a minute, And then I started looking into it and I'm like, wow, okay, I really didn't even know the effects of this thing here and that it could really cause issues for somebody trying to have a child. Like I said, I didn't think that I would have any more children because, I had my daughter already and I was a single parent, knew I didn't want to be a single parent again, and as she's getting older, I was just like, I'm good. I'm never going to have any children because I'm going to meet somebody my age and he's going to already have children, so I didn't think like this would be a factor.
Yes.
So now fast forward to 2015 and I meet you and fall in love and I'm like, wow, like it would really be like, this is unique for me because I grew up around single parents, and I was a single parent. And I'm like, wow, I hope I don't start crying, but I'm like, now I'm in a relationship. I'm married with somebody that I love and you love me. And not saying Kamari's dad didn't love me. I'm sure he did in his own way. You know what I mean? But I was still a single parent. Like I raised her with the help of my village. But now I'm like, dang, I'm married. I'm in a relationship with somebody I love. And wow, it would be like a dream for us to have a child.
In a marriage.
Yeah. And be able to raise a child together, you know?
Man. Yes.
And so, so I just look back and I'm like, dang, like, is it anything that, I could have done, differently? Had I known back then when I found out what it was. But like I said, I wasn't even in that frame of mind because I didn't think that I would have any more children.
Yeah, and I really wanted a kid with you because you're a strong, intelligent black woman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're strong, beautiful.
Yeah, like, and you always say, like if something happens to you, I would still have my daughter. But if something happens to like me, who would you have? Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that tears my heart up when you say that, And one thing I want to point out too is, I've always said like, even though like we talked about it and we tried to have children and we didn't know we would be faced with this situation, I've always even said like, once I started having the miscarriages, like I still want Kimar to have a child. Mm-hmm. And not because I have a child. Like that doesn't even play a factor in it for me. Not because I have a child, do you deserve a child? Because even if I didn't have a child, like I feel like that's your heart's desire. So even if the situation was reversed and you had a child and I didn't, and that was my heart's desire, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you should have your heart's desire. So I feel like you deserve a child, not because I have one, but because you want your child, which is, part of your legacy to carry on, Yeah. And, another thing I wanted to mention too, because I did say previously that, I kind of get in my feelings around Father's Day. And even though, like, technically Kimar is my daughter's stepfather. Now, some people say, like, well, Kimara is the same age as your daughter. Like, they're not the same age. I have said before that they have less than a 10-year age gap. I mean, I don't know if you want to say that's the same age. To me, it's not. But, you know, you're not the same age, but technically you are.
Yeah, just people just call it the same age group.
Your same age group.
Yeah, that's why them just round it off and say same age, you know.
Nah,
because
some people want the same age.
Some people just want it to be, or maybe want you to, maybe want you to feel a little weird. Some of them
Whatever, I don't care.
because them could I just, it's not a far off,
Yeah.
you know, but we're not
Right.
we're not the same age,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, but technically, Kimara is my daughter's stepfather. But, you know, when I think about a stepfather, I think about somebody who, like, played a role in raising you. And, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, I could even use, like, the example of Beyonce because her mom got remarried.
Yes.
Her mom got remarried to Richard Lawson. And technically, Richard Lawson is her, well, they're going through, I don't know if they're going through a divorce, but they separated or whatever. But technically, he was Beyonce's stepdad. But it's kind of weird to say that because he didn't really raise her. He didn't really grow her. And he had a daughter, and technically they would be stepsisters. But they probably, I don't know if they did, but they probably didn't hang out unless it was like a family gathering, dinner or Thanksgiving or, you know what I'm saying? So technically, Kimara is my daughter's stepfather, but that doesn't take away from or negate the fact that, you know, I still want to honor you as a father, as a biological father, you know, with your own child, your own seed, you know, and I do appreciate everything that you do for Kamari and my family as well.
That's nothing, man. That's natural, you know.
Yeah.
And I will continue to do once I am around.
Yeah. And I just kind of wanted to say, like, you know, I always say, like, things happen for a reason, things happen the way they're supposed to. And even in the midweek reset video that I did, I was just kind of talking about the scriptures that I was meditating on. And you had even posted something on Instagram about doors. Don't think the doors are being closed. What was it?
I think it was saying don't think that door has been closed on you. You got to think that rooms are built for you. Yeah,
like rooms are being built just for you. Yes. And so I think, like, even with, like, everything that we've gone through as well, like, it's not a denial, it's just a delay, you know.
So you say you tell yourself that you don't think that doors are closed on you. It's just that. Yeah, because, you know, it's like I said, people are having children older these days, and you have so many options out there. Yes. They even have, like, something now called PRP, and I can't remember exactly what it stands for, like the abbreviation, but basically it's like they have something called ovarian rejuvenation, because as a woman gets older, like, you have, like, when a woman is born, they have all the eggs that they're ever going to have, but as you get older, your eggs become dormant. And so basically this process is called ovarian rejuvenation, and they rejuvenate your ovaries and kind of awaken some of those dormant eggs, and you still have, like, healthy eggs as well. That's what they're finding out. Interesting.
Yeah, and they have something called PRP rejuvenation, PRP, that I was looking into as well. Just kind of like researching it, you know, but you really wouldn't know these things unless, you know, you come across it or you're researching it or something like that. But basically it's like,
I think a lot of things out there where you just have to research, you know?
Yeah, because they can take, like, your cells from, you know, your body and reuse. I don't know if I'm even kind of explaining it right, but it's called PRP, and then they have something called ovarian rejuvenation. So basically I'm just saying, like, all hope is not lost, because there are options out there, and we don't know, like, what route we're going to take.
Yes.
But, you know,
we will figure it out.
Yeah, we're going to figure it out. And because a lot of people have mentioned, you know, adoption. You guys can adopt a child, and adoption is not really like my calling, because and that's not to take away from all those beautiful children that could use a loving home. But adoption is not really my calling because I do have a grown daughter. And so essentially I would be starting over. And, I feel like if I'm starting over, I want to start over with my husband's child. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
you're saying you want something that's more attached to us, like
it's not really about just having a child. It's about having your child.
Yes, because you say when you add up a child, you're gonna love that child.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, when that child come from you differently, I think that's what you think? You think that's a different love?
No, I think the love will be the same because you have people who cannot have children and they adopt and they know like what that feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Like to have a child, it's the same feeling, but for me, starting over is not necessarily just having a child, it's having your child. It's your seed, your biological child.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
It makes sense, baby.
Yeah. So adoption is not really, my calling. I don't really want to adopt. But, as we said, we're just trying to...
We'll figure it out as time go along and share the journey.
So we just kind of wanted to open up a little bit more and share this part because, sometimes I make reference to, how COVID really changed my life. And, I just kind of wanted to share a little bit more about the reasoning behind it and like why COVID really changed my life. And really like depression that's a whole nother issue and that's real too, Yes. Because like I said, I was in like a depression and I think sometimes I still am, but I'm on the tail end of it. And I've been depressed before, like when I was younger. And I know like depression is different for people, but depression is not just I'm having a sad day. Mm-hmm. Depression is like a chemical imbalance in your brain. And some people actually have to have medication to balance that out. But I know for me, it's the time. Like I need the time. So even coming out of COVID, I wasn't even in the right frame of mind to pick back up where I left off and say, all right, COVID is over. The borders are back open. The clinic is back open. I'm also thinking things happen for a reason. And so I'm logical too. I'm a logical and analytical person. And so, just coming out of that period of, even when I did that video 2 years ago, I think I was in the midst still of the depression,
Yeah, man.
And it's real.
Emotional in that one, and you did cry.
It's real and it's rough, Yeah. And so, like I said, the reason that I just kind of wanted to open up and share a little bit more of my journey is because I know that there are people who are going through the same thing. And really the takeaway is, don't give up hope. Like I haven't given up hope. I know that, you're going to have a child. Mm-hmm. I know that. And, that's the takeaway. Like, don't give up hope. If it's your heart's desire. Like there's options out there now with all this technology, and you even have, like I said, some, young women who can't even have children at all, can't bear children, can't get pregnant. And there are, options out there. There's, there's options. So that's kind of like the takeaway for me. Like if it's your heart's desire, that, it can happen. It's going to happen for us, and it can happen for you.
It will happen, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happened before the time.
Yeah.
God on time.
God in time.
Pray and believe, So that is it, guys. As we said, it's God on time and pray and believe. So I just say all of that to say this. I know that you guys been seeing the beautiful merch that we are working on. And that one, what it said, babe?
Vibrate higher.
Yes, and this one right here is saying 8 motion.
Mm-hmm. 8 motion.
Yes. So guys, we're just trying to perfect the merch, and as everything come together, we will definitely post it and keep you guys posted and let you guys know when everything is ready.
Share more about the
Yes.
merch that we're going to be having available.
Yes. So guys, as we say, we come to an end of today's topic.
And we hope that someone will see this video and be inspired to not give up on your journey.
Yeah, man.
Because we serve a God of miracles and we serve a mighty God, and all things are possible.
So guys, you know where it go. Don't forget to go ahead and like the Bonix content.
And
Drop a
drop a comment.
Share the Bonix video. And the most important thing, what they're supposed to do?
Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. What are you waiting for?
Hit it, family. I wish somebody soul coulda catch a fire. Katana catch a fire.
No, I don't know that.
You know what the song there?
No, I don't.
Mighty God, man. Burn them with the Holy Ghost, Katania.
Oh. Peace out.
Blessings.